guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you're first time watching, you're welcome. If you're not first time watching, you're also welcome. We love you so much. So guys, today we are doing a glowy makeup tutorial. We're going to show you on how to do this look. Yeah, we did this makeup look and you guys also requested for a video of it, so we're going to be doing that today. As you can see, my brows are already on and we are going to go straight to the makeup. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to click on the notification button so you receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Comments, yeah, we'll be reading all your comments. So let's get started.
Alright guys, so like Debbie said, we already have the eyebrows on and we are just going to proceed straight to the eyeshadow portion of this look. So right now I'm using the Eyepencil Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee as the eyeshadow base, and for this I'm using a flat brush to apply. I started up at the middle of the eyelid and then worked my way towards the outer and inner corner of the eyes before blending in with my fingers to smoothen everything out. So after that we are going to immediately proceed to the eyeshadow, and for today's eyeshadow look I tried my best to make sure the edge is very sharp, and I just imagined a line upwards from that area where the upper lid and the lower lid connect. I imagined that line upwards and then I just angled the eyeshadow on that line alone. I focused this pigment at the outer corner of the eyes because it's our first transitioning shade, and then blending it as usual when applying any other first transition. But this eyeshadow pattern is going to be very different from any other one which I have done. That's why I'm using this technique. So please, if you have a masking tape, just angle it at that area where you're going to draw your wing eye, and then you'll get that sharp edge later on. So while applying the eyeshadow on the upper lid, I also applied it on the lower lid, but for this I used excess product on the brush and I just sketched a little wing liner as close to the natural lashes as possible. The technique is tapping motions and buffing it out as you go. And then right now I'm not really blending the first transitioning shade, I'm just mattifying the area underneath the eyebrows because the concealer was still very creamy around that area, and to do this I used a smaller brush with the Milani mineral compact powder in the shade 108. And then right now I'm blending the first transitioning shade with the same yellow eyeshadow shade which I'm going to use on the eye later on. This is just to give the eyeshadow look a little gradient and for the pigmentation of the yellow to show, because the yellow is not really a bright yellow color, just a neutral color to do a nude look. So applying the powder at first before doing this reduce the pigment of the eyeshadow. And then right now is when we can draw the cut crease. So to draw the cut crease, I'm using the same concealer which I used to clean up the eyebrows, which is the Eyepencil Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee. And today's cut crease is going to be different. I'm going to follow that same pattern which I set while applying the brown as our first transitioning shade, just at that area where I stop while applying the brown eyeshadow as close to the natural lashes. I'm going to just stop using the concealer. I'm going to focus much of that concealer on the upper eyelid and then blend it in with the brown eyeshadow shade just at the outer corner alone. And then while filling in on the main eyelid, I'm going to like lay down a diagonal, like a straight line, so it makes the eyeshadow look as if it's slanting upwards. I'm not going to do a full crease, just the shape at the inner corner is okay, but I'm just going to line that area close to the first transition shade we used. And as we can see, using this pattern just gives us the shape of an actual wing liner. And then on the actual eyelid, I'm still going to apply that same yellow eyeshadow shade which I used to blend the first transitioning shade, and I'm going to do this very lightly because we want to keep this very simple the way it was in the first photo. This is just like a recreation of that makeup look, so I tried my possible best to match everything except the brows. Though the eyebrows are quite different, as you can see here. For the eyebrows, I used the filling in technique. If you watch my last eyebrow tutorial, you're going to see the filling in techniques, and for this video I actually did the lip gloss technique. Yeah, so only the brows make the difference in this eyeshadow, in this whole makeup look. Sorry. So after applying the eyeshadow, I'm going to take a smaller brush this time, just like a very tiny highlighting brush, and then with that brown eyeshadow shade on it, I'm going to sketch a wing liner as close to the natural lashes as possible to emphasize on the eyeshadow pattern. And while doing this, I use the opportunity to blend in between the edges to prevent harsh lines. And then after everything on the eyes, right now is when you can peel off the tape. That is if you use a tape for this eyeshadow look, and you are going to see that sharp edge at the outer corner of the eyeshadow, and you don't really need a wing liner for this because that sharp edge already emphasizes on that. So I didn't use a tape, as you can see. I'm just using some foundation to clean out the edge. So finally, moving on to the face, guys, we're going to be starting off with skin prep. Now the title of this video is Glowy Makeup Tutorial. Yeah, we are doing a glowy makeup today, and to do this you will want to start at the root to emphasize on that glow in this whole makeup look. So right now I'm moisturizing first with olive oil. Now this step might not really be good for everybody's skin tone. Everybody does not have the same skin tone. If oil doesn't really work for you, I would recommend you go for any high-end products, any moisturizer that glows, that shines. Yeah, just moisturize first before doing your primer, and then we're going to move on to the next step, which really change this whole makeup step for good. So you guys know I use the aloe vera glow primer, and since it's an oil based primer, I just mix the primer with the moisturizer together and apply it at once. This time I'm using a brush. I usually use my hands to massage it, but I'm using a brush this time. So I'm going to focus this on the T-zone area mostly, which is the area where I'm going to highlight later on. And after that, after blending it in, I just spray the face with some setting spray to lock everything in place and make the face more dewy. And then here is where you can apply an illuminator or any glow serum at all. For this, I'm using the e.l.f. illuminating cream. I'm just going to apply that in the areas where I'm going to highlight later on with the highlighter, not with concealer though. The highlighter, that makes the face glow after the makeup, on the cheek, the chin, the nose, and the forehead. And then I'm going to blend in with my finger. Next, we're going to proceed onto foundation. For foundation, I'm using the Mary Kay Full Coverage Foundation in the shade 608, and I'm using a brush to apply for today's video. Why I did this was because I didn't want the beauty blender to absorb all the product which I just applied on the face. A brush just blends everything, and depending on where you use your brush. So if you're going for this glowy makeup and you really want to see the glow in your makeup, I would recommend you use a brush for your blending, like the whole blending, because a beauty blender tends to absorb more products than the brush. The brush just spreads the product around. The beauty blender blends fine though. I'm not discriminating the use of beauty blenders though. I'm just saying for this makeup look, use a brush. It's going to be much more preferable than using a beauty blender. So now is when we're going to highlight, and I'm using the same concealer I've been using throughout this whole makeup process, which is the Elegant Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee. And I don't know if you guys can picture the glow. Yeah, just watch how the face is glowing. Anyways, we are going to continue with the highlighting, and to highlight, we're highlighting the under eyes, the bridge of the nose, around the mouth, and the forehead. For the highlighting, I didn't go too crazy with it because we don't want to conceal everything we just did with the skin prep routine. So just a little bit of concealer will do for highlighting. because we're still going to add more layers of powder and more layers of product on top of that. So by the time you're done, you don't want the whole glowy situation to be gone and all your effort just wasted. So we're just going to use little product for this. So to blend, I'm still using that same brush which I used to apply the foundation, and I'm going to blend the other areas of the face first before moving to the under eyes, because the under eyes are usually the first area that tend to crease, so we wouldn't want that on our makeup look today. I'm going to do that last and then set it in place immediately before we contact any form of creasage. To blend is tapping motions that we're going to be using. I'm not going to be using a beauty blender to blend anything today. Throughout, I'm using a brush or some brushes. For this whole makeup look, I use brushes alone, so as to attain that glow, which is still glowing right now on the face, you can see. And also the pattern of the eyeshadow, damn, oh my god. Next, we're going to set everything in place, and to set today, I'm using the Black Opal Deluxe finishing powder to set. I started off by setting around the under eyes first, very important, before setting other areas of the face. At first, I wanted to use this setting powder around the whole face, but in our case here, our finishing powder has a little bit darker tone, like it's as close to Debbie's skin tone, and the setting powder usually highlights. So instead of using that setting powder to like brighten everything and mattify the glow, I just use that on the areas where I highlighted only. And then later I used the Milani mineral compact powder in the shade 108 with that same large brush. This is my beautiful multi-purpose brush right here. I use that to set the whole face this time, and I'm not actually setting, I'm just dusting off, you know, just to mattify the foundation around these areas. So let's just take 10 seconds of our time to view the glow on this beautiful face. Pretty. Next, we're going to contour. As usual, our next step to add some depth to the face, and I'm using the Ushas Contour kit for this, the chestnut shade in the palette, and I contour the cheekbones, the hairline, the jawline, and the nose. So guys, following my usual makeup routine, I usually start off with the brows, do the face before coming back to the eyes and lips. And if you notice, while I do the eyeshadow on the face, I usually bake the face. Yeah, that is after contouring. I just put some setting powder around the face to like catch fallout from eyeshadow and stuff, and to make the contour pop. But I didn't do that in today's video because excess of powder is going to take away from the glow, guys. So just be careful with the amount of powder you use if you're doing this makeup. So right now, after spraying the face, I'm highlighting with the Ushas highlighting palette. I'm using the shade Apricot, I think. What I'm using is a really good like highlighting shade. I'm going to highlight on the cheek first of all, just above our contour, and then I'm going to highlight the chin, the nose, the under the eyebrows, and inner corner of the eyes, everywhere possible to really make this face glow. I would recommend you go crazy with your highlighter, but not too crazy, just crazy on an average level to bring the glow on this makeup look. And then after that, we top up with a nude lip, just as we see in the actual photo from the first time we did this makeup look. And that will be all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you love this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I also hope you have learned something from this video as well. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up down below, comment, subscribe, share this video, and follow us on our social media handles, which will be displayed at the end of this video. We'll be seeing you in our next video. Bye.
Purchase your tracks today.
I just wanna be alone.